A lovely good evening. Welcome viewers to NSAKA on a Thursday night. And today we have an exciting program and we'll be looking at parenting. And we are zooming in terms of parenting adolescents. Okay. And we're looking at sexuality as well as substance abuse. As usual, I have my co-host, that is Himba, who is joining us to help us with tonight's discussion. Himba, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, CJ. How are you?
I'm okay. You've been missing in action.
Yeah, you can say that again. But at the end of the day, what is important? I'm here. I'm back. I'm a prodigal child. I'm back.
Great. Viewers, nkani amneti kambapo lero. Ni mwene tukulisira vana and then vana vatu vamene wafika atipa musinku. Okay, those that have reached puberty, they are adolescents, and sexuality issues start coming in. Okay, and some of the language that we might use might be too sensitive, so make sure ngati kuli vana pafupi, anyone who's below the age of 18, please vapishe mponi, ask them to leave so that even as we will be discussing, we are talking to the right audience. And not only that, please invite someone. Okay, Itanon someone, call somebody, tell them program is on and we're my issues on parenting adolescents. We want to share your experiences and how you manage what you have gone through. And you never know who's going to be helped out there. Definitely, we do have Evangelist who will be helping us, but we want to interact with everybody. At this point, Himba, I'll allow you to welcome Evangelist.
Thank you so much, CJ. Despite us talking about parenting of adolescents, CJ, we are also talking about sexuality and substance abuse among the adolescents.
Exactly.
We know that during this age,
Yes.
this is when this age is vulnerable to such act of or to such devices of substance abuse, sexuality abuse, and a lot of things. And then we have early marriages, early pregnancies, issues of STIs, STD, abortion, premarital, a lot of things at this age. Flash tikefingi. So we are going to talk about that as well during our discussion. However, let us invite the evangelist as our parent. Evangelist, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Himba, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Evangelist. Evangelist, what have you been up to this week?
First of all, I just want to say that I've been thinking about the program that we are doing trying to find out how much we are reaching our audience, and also whether we are making it great or not. And also, I was thinking about this same program that we have to do, because as parents, the core duty of a parent. This is where sometimes parents misfire. They make mistakes, and in the end, the boy or the girl goes astray, because sometimes the parents were either too strict or they don't pay attention to certain indications in the behavior of their child, or their son, or their daughter. Sometimes the change in the behavior, sometimes the change in habits. These things, sometimes parents miss these certain points. As a result, they find their children on the wrong side of the law, because parents did not do their work. Either they were absent because of work, or because of business, sometimes because of education. The children were away from the parents. And when these developments were taking place, the parents missed those occasions when they could have moved in to to help the boy or the girl. So this is what I've been looking at. And so right now, I've got the opportunity just to be with you so that you can ask me questions, and also I can answer them. I can also learn from you, the audience, or you, the viewers, so that I also improve on my family responsibility, because we are learning from each other and we are teaching each other. So that's the position for today, Himba.
Thank you so much, Evangelist, for that very, very beautiful, exciting introduction. Viewers, tulelanda pali population or age group. Me, I call it's a confused age group. This is an age group, abashayishwa where they belong. Kulabati lelo, they act like adults, tomorrow they act like teenagers, tomorrow they act like children. So this is a very delicate age group. That needs a lot of maturity, a lot of intellectual, that needs a lot of wisdom to handle this age group. So this is the age group we are talking about today. It will be of a great value and interest that maybe you also come in, you share. Mwatweba kwefe mwapitamu mwale kushaba na benu olwefe mulepitamo limbi tuafwana to save the better Zambia. One thing we should understand, viewers, is that the leadership or the backbone of the nation, it starts from the home. The way we nurture our children, that's why we are nurturing leaders for tomorrow. Today kushabana abakasunge chalo cheso abana abakasunge ntambi, who are going to pass our culture, our culture values, our tradition from one generation to another. So we really need to know how to handle this age group. CJ, over to you.
Yes, yes, Himba, this is a very sensitive age group, and we really need to handle them the right way. The Bible says, train your child in the way they should go, so that when they are grown, they will not depart from it. And today, we want to invite you. There's a phone, a number that is displayed on the screen. That is 0979 Please, we want to interact with you, and you be to the studio to make your comment, your submission. You can also do that via the comment section in Facebook, as well as YouTube. I can see we have Mr. Levi Chirwa who's following. Mr. Chirwa, you're very much welcome. Please do make your comments and submissions. We want to interact with everybody. Tonight's show is all about interaction. At this point in time, I think I'll throw it back to Himba. Then we can proceed with the discussion. Himba, over to you.
Thank you so much, CJ. Before we go any further, allow me to recognize the presence of Womukelebai. Womukelebai is a young boy who is only 16 years. Womukelebai, welcome to the program. He's a teenager we have today.
I wish I could reverse my years. Ndarumbaka Patrick, thank you very much. Thank you so much, and good evening, viewers. We are looking forward to discuss this wonderful program, and I hope everyone is going to participate, as you have put it, so that we share, because we learn a lot as well from viewers that come up with their own contributions and questions. So we teach one another on how to look after our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Womukelebai. Evangelist, when we talk about teenager, who are we talking about? What are we trying to say? Who are these? What is this generation we are talking about?
This topic is very, very important. I just want to put it this way. we are looking at, first of all, we're looking at what is called the puberty. This is the age of 10 to 16. Then we are looking at adolescents. That is the age of 10 to 15, and then 16 to somewhere there, around 19 years. This is what we are doing. Now, I want to start this way. I'm going to talk about the boys. I'm going to talk, then I'll talk about girls, so that we understand the problems and the difficulties why these people face what they face. Now, from childhood, when the whole entire organism has been preparing itself for puberty, this is the moment when you begin, Himba, to notice the changes in your body. These changes will continue for several years. It is better find out about them so as to understand how nature is preparing the way for childhood. It is important to understand. Now, for boys, when your body is ready for puberty as a boy, the pituitary gland, this is a gland the size of a pea under the brain, will release hormones to the blood, which will send messages to other glands, so they will do the same. The first sign of puberty, CJ, and let me address you, CJ, is that the hair begins to grow on the pubis. This is where the word puberty comes from. Pachinena, chinena, chinena. So when the hair begins to grow from the pubis or the chinena, so that is the first step. As this person becomes now, is getting into this group called the puberty, then your growth will increase, making you taller and stronger. This shooting up, or the usual begins, this is between 13 and 14 years, although each person is different. So sometimes you find that these young people, in most cases, human beings, they don't grow at the same rate. Each one have got their own growth, which you may not be the same as the other person. On the side of sexuality, sexual maturity becomes obvious when the testicles grow bigger. Ngati kwamba kukula kuja kamwana kaka size ya chiti ya pigeon ja Himba tumachende tokulako pang'ono. The same happens to the peanut. Kambolo kamba kutali nto kamba kukula. That to kakachite ka skin ka full skin kamba kubwele na mumbuyo. So the size of these organs varies also, and in no way has anything to do with the virility or sex drive. Manje umwana amba kukula. All of it indicates that your body is getting ready for sexuality. With the subsequent introduction of spermatozoa, that must tend to amba kuchoka. Tuone kamunga tumamina so, but not too thick, but can fertilize a female egg and produce a human life. Then some of the things that will come out there, CJ and Mukerebai, is that a visible sign of the internal process is issuing, and this is what we call semen. The fluid which carries the semen, the sperm, which are to repeat because the difference between semen and the sperm. Now, then the other change is the voice. The voice yamba kotipa, yamba kuchinja. Next is the skin. Also it undergoes changes. Yamba ukala natural oils in the facial skin. Yamba kuita increase. And then from there, what it needs to do, kwamba kuna chapa na tuma pimples, kwamba kutoka tuma blackheads, mwana munyamata ala makupesa pesa mine chili chinga chikibwanja ndapoya manyimai. The boy has started increasing. Although this may be upsetting, sometimes you find that the normal situation of this boy begins to this that other color begins to disappear. I am babuchinja. Then in the next week, I'm talking to my people. You can either call them acting. The acting can be treated medically. Mind about CJ, or to my people sometimes too cool money to the point where I begin even treating them. It is still okay. All these changes are the result of the body's hormone activity. So, do not worry about them. So sometimes they can become irritable. Now, in the meantime, take care of yourself. At this stage, the boy, father, and mother should be watchful in the behavior of the boy, who he plays with, where he goes, what books he reads, what films he watches. The dressing should be watched, and the appetite should also be watched. This is the beginning of troubles. Just as Himba puts that they fail to identify themselves where their boys are men or they are puberty. I mean, they are in the puberty stage. So then from there, this boy, we may need to check also how the boy sleeps, how he eats, and then also the physical exercises. Does he do all these things? That is the puberty stage leading to adolescence. Or I mean adolescence, it's difficult for you to divide the adolescence and then the puberty, because they are close door neighbors. That's for boys. What about the girl? Girl now is same. What happens? We talk about development. The breasts begin to develop. Then also her height and the weight also increases. Then the hair also begins to change, to increase, including her hair, pubis, pubis, pubic hair. Now this is a young age. Then the arms are getting even bigger. A little later, you also see some hair under her armpit. Then from there, we can produce a smell kena. That smell is an indication that she's becoming a lady. And suddenly, she also experiences what is called the menstruation or period. Kuonekera chambi naye kujoina mklabu yama pads kuvala mapads because kukula. Then from there now, the whole process developed. Then your uterus also begins to prepare itself in order to receive the egg, which is the sperm. And also the skin of this lady, the facial skin, begins to change. It becomes rougher and tougher and more oily. And then my pimples are baktoka, and my blackheads are baktoka. So what needs to be done at this point is that now the strongest smell umwana musikana amba kuchoka. This is to attract men. That mwana amba kununka kamunku kena kaja. It is an indication that mango yapya. So the men should prepare for the same. And see ourselves. So now, then from there, and at this point now, the young girl sometimes becomes a bit shy. Sometimes she should be crying. Sometimes she want to play alone. Sometimes she'll play with a certain group of friends in her age group. Sometimes she'll become a bit rude. Your rudeness, those are hormones. They change in the body metabolism. So this young girl begins to change. So if the father, the mother, the brothers and sisters are not watchful, they are not careful, they will begin fighting with this young girl because of changes in the body, which will also change her behavior. It will change her conduct because of what is happening. So at this point, sometimes she will not listen to the mother. Maybe she will be afraid of the father, but not sometimes even wanting to sit with the father in the presence of the father. So she will stay away from parents and instead join friends out there on the street, where she will find solace, where she will find peace. Because you find people, friends who are in the same group and behavior, so she'll be able to fit in nicely. Now, this is a point Himba, CJ, Mukerevai, and Emmanuel. This is a point where children begin to leave home, to go on the street, to go and find their peers so that they can do what they need to do together. And in the process, they will get into drugs, cocaine, cannabis, zimbanje, and other things, and drinking, alcohol, and many other things. They will do them. And because they've drunk, because they have smoked, they will be on the other side of the law. You'll find that your daughter at the age of 13, she is in the police cell because she drank so much, or she broke somebody's window, or he misbehaved, so she is found in that place. If not, sometimes she fought with somebody and she was trying to prove that she's not a young girl. So in the process, probably she picked the bottle and hit somebody on the face, and then sometimes in the process of fighting, the daughter is injured and is admitted in the hospital. Sometimes even death occurs. Sometimes they even want to steal a car and drive it themselves and later on be involved in car accidents because they are testing their growth, testing their maturity, testing their bodies, testing their self-control. Because of lack of experience and lack of knowledge, you find that the negatives take place. They injure themselves, or they die in an accident, or they're in the police cells, or in prison. They go to court and end up in prison. In short, parenting begins here. Father, mother needs to cooperate in disciplining their children. They need to work together. They need to set rules that will govern life in that home. Rules which will not send the child out of the home, but the rules that will help a child understand that she is loved, he is loved. That's what are those rules. And sometimes you set those rules with the child, involve the children in setting out rules. You will find that they will like you, they will love you, they will love what they do. In the meantime, let me pause for your contributions or your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Evangelist, for that detailed and straight to the point or explanation. I'll start by asking
CJ,
for
sorry,
yes, please. Yes, Himba.
There are about 3 points I would love to add on just from what Evangelist, which would be connected, if it's okay with you.
Yes, go ahead, Himba.
Yes,
that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, CJ. The first point I'd love to share, just to add on from what the Evangelist has said. After these children, they've reached at this stage where Evangelist has spoken about. As parent, bear in your mind that experiential learning takes place now to these children. They are now trying, there's a lot of experiences they want to do. So they will learn through experience. They will do things they don't understand just for them to experience how it feels. Like even chamba. Saza bema chamba tindabafuna. Afuna mvereko che chamba mwechi mvekela. Kainga papa mene kuli hormonal change yes to understand among themselves. Pajapena ngwa unakoti ni wakulu wakaleko na courage to approach certain situations. And at this particular time, they have more confidence in their friends than even you, the parents. When they've got anything happening in their lives, bazaenda kuli munzake kwenda ofunza. Nanga hapa boy nikuchita chani. Ine namba chani boy nchoka kuli blood. Before the child talks to you, they will go and talk to their friends. Then, this is a point, Vana, when they need you. This is the point when this child needs you. Don't leave that gap at Misile Banzake, because when you stay away from this child, you are leaving a gap, right? And then their friends, they will occupy that gap for you. And then they'll teach them now things. That's where now the issues of Shaabula comes in now, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. But papa manage na mubiri na hivyo unyang'anya mwe bakambila bashabula. They want to experience now. Bambonkala kuna attracted to my opposite sex nikamvere ko vive kabwa njo you need to iwe do a virgin pe ulila hapa yesako boy. So don't leave that gap for their friends. That's when your child needs you. That's when you need to be best friend to your child, to explain what they are going through and to be able to identify those changes and give them answers. Because at this particular stage, they've got a lot of unanswered questions that are going through their mind and they want you to answer. So if you put a block, ijatu ankala, iwe, chan, mwana zaenda funse zake and wazami punzisila. At the end of the day, mwana mzampeza kujantemba, mzampeza kukwina nkwesa afuniko pezeka. CJ, over to you.
Thank you very much, Himba. I think before I ask my question, I'll also allow Bom Kedebai so that he can also add in his voice before we get to the questions. Bom Kedebai.
Thank you so much, Shaabula. Thank you, Himba. Chibonta. That was nice. Shaabula. You have really opened up, and these are discussions that need to be done with families, especially when you have teenagers in your home. It should not actually start from teenager. You should always, as a parent, start nurturing your children at a very early age, where you open the communication, you bond with your children. Most African parents, we always, especially men, we rare bond with our children. The reasons we want the toughness out of our young boys, especially with the boys. And in so doing, you find parents being so harsh to their boys in a spirit of wanting them to be strong and to be not lazy. And then as they are doing that, they are actually alienating themselves from the closeness, from the bond between them and their children. When it comes to mothers, we know by nature and we know how mothers love and how mothers care. They carry their children for 9 months, and when they are born, and they look after them, milk them, feed them, dress them, do all those things. That is where us male parents also should come in to bond with our children. You start from the start. As they are growing, you are nurturing. You are the one who brought this child on this planet. And you are the one who is going to tell this child the do's and the don'ts. Do not expect Siri or Uncle Google to tell these children today what they are supposed to experience or do in life. Yes, technology is there, but this is the conflicts between technology and parents. When parents are not close to their children, because they are human beings too, they want survival of the fittest, they will always seek they will always search for help elsewhere. This is why you find children, they abandon you, the parents, they go and start getting advice from strangers or resort to Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and do all kind of others. They even resort in watching pornographic materials. But this is where a parent should come in and try to bond with your children. Just tell the word, keep on repeating, do not smoke, do not drink, do not steal, do not beat, do not kill. Those words, once you keep on repeating them, they will get stuck on the children's mind. As they grow, they will find out themselves to say, my parents nurtured me not to do this, and exactly I see what the results can be, how bad this issue can be. So in a nutshell, everything that has been stated here is very correct, but above all, parents, especially male parents and African male parents, should open the Pandora box of honesty with their children, especially male children. Do not exhibit anger or toughness and screaming. Talk to your child in a very normal voice as just your pal. I promise you things will work in your favor. Let me rest here for now.
Thank you very much, Abum Kelebai. I can see Rafik is also watching. Rafik, great to have you, Mr. Makaika. We also have Lawrence. Lawrence, great to have you. Please feel free to make your submissions. You can call the number that is on the screen there and also use the comment section. You could also join the studio the time that the link is shared. I think the link can be director. Maybe the link can also be shared. Rafik says, point I wanted to pick, technology has taken away time between parents and children, and we find our children are learning from Google and mostly has Western life, and we're slowly losing culture. Okay, great one there. So the question that I'm going to throw at Kachani Kayambakukula, that is Rafik. Funny, but hitting the nail on the head is better. Laughing out loud. Yeah. Va. Okay. So a situation where you notice that your child, whether ni mukazi or ni mwamuna, amba interest muri the opposite sex. Okay, vana vamasiyana, there are children vamene vakonda kufunsa ma question venango variko mukati. But then if you discover that your daughter or son has started developing interest in the opposite sex, in kanyama boyfriend, girlfriend, as a parent, how do you handle it in a home? Things like, I'd say, at what age, or how should you handle a situation whereby mwana, let me say, ankara na boyfriend? I'll start with Evangelist.
First of all, we must understand that you cannot stop the desire for your boy to have a girlfriend or your daughter to have a boyfriend. You will not suppress that desire, because it is the hormone is changing in the body. So when the hormones begin to change in the body, they affect sight, feelings. That feeling will automatically be built by the change of the hormone. So you cannot stop. No matter whether you pray or you fast for your son or your daughter, you will not stop that from happening. I've just, I was talking about the changes. And in particular, I talked about even the uterus of that young girl will begin to change in readiness to receive the egg. So that the egg from the ovary will begin coming out, through that. So you will not stop it because of the hormones. Now, to answer the question, what should you do? Just like our brother Mkeleva put it, we have two cultures which fight this. First of all, the African culture has a problem somehow because the children, whether girls or boys, are not allowed to talk, sexual issues or sexual matters to their parents. While the other culture, the Western culture, does allow that. Of course, not everyone in the Western culture, can accept that. We know that even some in the Western culture, they don't allow their children to talk about sexuality, matters. But if a child, gathers courage and asks you a question, it is very, very important for you as a parent to give that child, that daughter, that son of yours, give them the correct answer. The correct answer. Don't send them to the teacher or sending them to their friends or send them to their uncle or send them to the neighbor or to the pastor, to another person. Let the answer come from you because you are the parent and you are the interested party in the behavior of your child. So answer correctly. For example, mwana kufunza kodi mastem in China. You need to explain what that is because if you are a man, you are even carrying sperm in your gonad. So you are the better person to explain to your son or to your daughter. If you are talking about menstrual period, the mother should be able to explain it properly because she has every month, every once in a month, she has said that I am experiencing and in a degree menstrual issues. So she must be able to explain. So what am I saying? What I'm saying here to answer your question, CJ, is that parents should be available to help their children find their feet and be able to walk in the newness of life. Parents, don't say if Giratonda, what was that thing?
Nimaloza.
So answer the question. For me, I've said, I'll give you my example of myself. I've got 3 daughters. I don't have a son. They've asked me questions concerning, their bodies as ladies. Oh, man. I answered. He said, this is the position. And of course, they will be shy. They will be laughing. They will look aside. But for me, I'll look in their face and tell them this. Let them know that I am confident in what I'm saying and I know that it will help them. In short, CJ, let the parents be available and it must be handy to answer questions as they come. 2, to correct bad behavior as it appears in the character of their daughter or son. Let's help them. Let's not fight them. Let's not threaten them. Let's not chase them. So it is our responsibility to help them. Let's help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Evangelist. Before I bring in Himba and Womkelewai, at what age should parents start talking about sex to their children?
What I've said, I've told you that, you know, puberty begins from 12 years, from 10 years.
Uh-huh.
So you should start talking about such things from 10 years. Because, you know, when a child is young, azamba kuzikira kushite genital area. Actually, they are trying to identify who they are. Ndine mukazi koti katwincholi kalibwanji, kachani kalibwanji, kachende kalibwanji. So they are trying to identify themselves. That's the time when we should begin to talk about those things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Evangelist. Abia has. It's good that Mr. Abia is watching. His director. Let us just have that comment. Okay, so Abia is saying, but not 15 to 17 years at boyfriend and girlfriend. No, ni madimbi ayo manje. But the question is, who should teach a girl child and who should teach a boy child? Okay, before Evangelist responds to this, I'll allow Himba to come in and also make a response towards what Evangelist said or any other addition. Himba.
Thank you so much, CJ. Thank you so much. Basically, for me, I would also want to respond to the point where you asked, where you said, at what point can you start talking about issues of sexuality to a child? CJ, if you look, I'm going to take you a little bit back. If you look at child development, we start appreciating our sexuality at a very, very tender age, if not when we are still toddlers, but we do it in different ways. There are many ways. That's why there's a point where we are saying you should be closer to your children. You should be able to understand, to read the behavior of your child. That nanga hapa mwana wanga achika so akamba chani. Because literally it depends on an individual, because development differs according to individuals. Well, even like we may say, pa age say pali 7, pali 6, the nyepe muyamba. In our days, actually, wafana bakula. If it is in the Western world, the youngest was 9. Is it 8 years? So nishanamba nama kwenda kumwenzi, kukwela ndege, kwenda kumwenzi yeba makwela. You know, literally, which means this child started at a tender age. So for me, I think parents should be very observant to check on the behavior of mwana. You see what I'm trying to say? Which mwana wanga fika hapa. I'm having a feedback, CJ. Director. Okay. So as parents, we should be able to understand my behaviors, Yabana. We should be able to read. That's why we are supposed to be very observant. It doesn't mean because Daddy so started having my night wait nights at 15, which means na lumba akatampa palida in age. My body grows differently and we should handle children differently in a home. That's why parentage, we really need to understand their behaviors. And when we talk about issues of boyfriend, girlfriend, whether we like it or not, vana bazafuniwa bazafuna, whether muziva si muziva. That's why timakambati mwana msaka mupokolola. Mwana wanga sanga pase mimba. Mwana wanga. Don't do that as a parent, because there are things which children do which you don't know. In each and everyone's life, trina component yom life yakuti kuli baziba niweka che na mulungu wako. Olo unakwatila taziba mkazi wako ni ndiwe che na mulungu wako. Even our children, they've got such components in their lives. Hatuwazi mwana wanga ni muziba, simu muziba. Nimuziva sanga niname. No. Only God can know your child to that extent. So you really need to be the best friend. And one thing you have to bear in your mind is that Even when they are going through this adolescent puberty, they don't even understand themselves, Nabevi. They don't even understand what is happening in their bodies. They literally don't understand. That's why they look up to us parents. So Ishiyama boyfriends, the moment kange mubiru kambokula, they start getting attracted to opposite sex. Even kamwana kakula, you are going to see that a girl child, kakali kangono, they get attracted kuli batate bao. They are trying to satisfy their sexual desire. Kama muna kuliba mai bake, kafuno chitako chanjan kubasa kubagwila kutumanipo position, they are satisfying their sexual desires. So it starts at a very tender age. So you need to start explaining, this is not right, this is wrong, this is what. Ishiyama boyfriends, let's sit down and talk to our children. It's normal. It's normal to have a boyfriend. It's natural. It's natural. All we need is to guide our children. When we are talking about our children, we are talking to you as guardian. Mwana uli wansi we musunga. Find time to talk to this child over what they are going through, their experiences. One thing you should know, it won't be easier for you to penetrate to a child to talk about issues of sexuality. It will be very difficult. But the moment you decide, we have vuta, ari rudi, saa nafune che kunkara rudi, kui vevi mi vuta pe ari. Muda bakazi valida ku bedroom, no, there's something that child is going through. All they need is you to be a little bit tolerant, to understand. And even when they become rude, during this period, it's defense. Baby, one of akamba my periods, I want to feel normal. Akambona my pubic hair, this is normal. So the child needs you more than ever to explain that this is very normal, my child. You're not the first one. It has happened, and you see a lot of body changes, a lot of chani bamuna bazambo kukonka. That's why bakudala, they had their own way of doing it. Bazaku mwana mungono bazamuza tawe usazika soti muvoku dia olomanji wa makamba do usaike soti ngakuma periods. It's just another way of teaching. They had their own way of teaching and how to pass this communication from one generation to another. So if ever manje lifespan yabwela down, we don't have grandparents. What zapeleka bana bagakambe now? Let's sit down, talk to them. Ukagona na mwamuna vizankala so. Aba banzako uzachita so. The moment you decide to shun away and not to communicate to your children, muziwe kuti banzake, they will do your job. Internet will do the job. Baliko bantu babebachi ba internet ipunzisa. And then na ya manyumba eti na ma self-contained ya kuti bedroom mulina bathing room mulina chani mukabwela mbwela usiku straight kuseni musambira mu bedroom musizo samba bana bamiona nche muchoka na ka briefcase. You don't have time for your child. It has costed us that much. Ma laptop eti sunga pamuliri. So zamuona no muona mwana ngagenda if he's being troubled, they are going through a depression, they are being bullied, because even bullying is very common during this age. Nganambo bema chamba simuzamuona. The time the child will sneak out, you won't see. So try to come out of ija bedroom emuli nayo, muli screen ikulu, self-contained, try to come out. Having dinner with your children is very important, because you'll be able to read their behaviors. Watching TV, it is very important, because it will be able to tell you my behaviors. But if you don't have time for your children, internet is there to do your job in a negative way. I rest my case, CJ.
Yonkani amina makamba internet, social media. We sure. Your submission quickly on that one.
On which one? Internet or what was your question again?
On what has been said in terms of the right time to start talking about sex to our children and issues of boyfriend and girlfriends.
Yes, thank you so much. In Zambia or in Africa, we have our own culture where we have tabooed certain norms that we cannot discuss certain issues with our own children, that our children cannot even attend, for example, a funeral or going to see a dead body. Our children cannot eat certain type of food. That way, we have all those do's and don'ts. and to marus, to tabooing issues where we feel no, it was not okay for parents to tell the children. But today, as we evolve, as time evolve, and as the world is being globalized with showered with technology, we have to learn how to coexist with these new challenges. And our parenting strategy should also change. Because today, if you tell a young child, mumapinda, wiyikala panani apo mukashove nga wakula wakafwa. You know, such to madues. Efo bale tukanya kale. Wila lala no.
Wila.
Yeah.
Aha.
You know, there are those things that at our time, before the knowledge was much expanded, we had our own, we were curious, but we heard so much from our parents. We respected much of our parents. But today, the information out there, it's on the fingertips. You can go anywhere you want to talk about sex, talk about any developmental of a child, any problem, whatever, you will find it on the internet. The problem that we have is that when you look at the source of that information, that is where now parents should look at to say, look, these sources where our children are getting certain information, are they legit? Or these are people that want to harm our children? Today we hear our children being exposed to homosexuality when we know that in our own country it's not even allowed. So there are a lot of challenges out there. But these are the conflicts that we have, our tradition and the current state of the happenings in the world. So as parent, this is where that's where I said we need to create a bond with our children. When we create that bond, like what Himba put it, that we have dinner with our children, we put our gadgets down, away, stop pama social media, avoid kwenda pama social media every day. You don't even have time, quality time. You don't spend quality time with your children. You are ever on the phone. You are ever on the internet. You are ever on social media. You don't have time. Your wife will leave you. Your children will abandon you. And also, it can be vice versa. Your husband may simply say, when I watch Ramo, you are now paying too much attention to the social media. You are on the phone every day. Now I'm going to find someone else who, or also the children also look at the same to say, our mother or our father, our parents, they are not with us. They don't ask us about homework. They don't ask us about how our days has been from school, whether we are okay, we have been bullied or we have failed our test. They are not following. Their interest is always on the internet. So this is where now the challenge is as parents. We put down our gadgets when we are home. We can still survive, but we are so addicted. This current generation and with their parents, grandparents, they are even addicted to cell phones or these gadgets, that we are losing touch. And when we tell children about the do's and don'ts, they look at us and they even laugh to say, what can you tell me? Because I've already seen, I asked Aunt Siri on social media, I asked Uncle Google, I was told, or Daddy Google, they gave me all the information. So it is it me? Sorry about that. Yes.
There's a call coming through. Let us just pick this call so that we hear. Hello, good evening.
You haven't even
Hello,
opened
good evening.
the phone calls already.
Yeah, I think it's about time. We've already gone, I think, 55 minutes into the
Okay,
program.
let me just finish my point. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that when you have trust and you have that close bond with your children, you will be able to talk about sex without any fear, without any shyness, without even looking at the miambo that it would disturb me. You have that trust. But when you don't have a bond with your children, this is where now the children will look at you. When you talk about sex, they will just look away and think you are just acting crazy or you are being a controlling freak, and then they will leave you and go and listen to other people. So the very, very important issue is for us parents to open up a good rapport with our children. We talk to them, and then we will be able to communicate whenever or with any topic. And remember also to introduce your children to God. The Bible will actually help you as a parent a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Home Kirebai. We have a call on the line, and I would like us to take this one. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're through to Ubuntu channel, and this is Pansaka. Please, you can tell us your name and make your comment, question, or contribution.
Thank you very much. This is Mohia. I'm really enjoying the show. Though I'd want to find out further. We are teaching children who are getting of age. Are we introducing them to sex, or we are trying to teach them how to protect themselves until the right time comes?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Evangelist, you've heard that question. When talking about sex, what are you teaching your child as a parent? Is it protection? Is it abstinence? How do you discuss the subject of sex to your child? Evangelist? Okay, we seem to have lost Evangelist. Himba, how, in terms of talking about sex to your child, how do you talk about it? Are you introducing them to sex? Is it abstinence? What do you tell your child exactly?
Thank you so much, CJ, and thank you so much from Bamofia. That is a very, very brilliant question and a very vital question, which I think there's a bit of some, there's really, really a very rich information that needs to come out. You know, yes, when you're talking to a child, are we introducing them to sex? Our main aim at that particular time, that as a parent, we are not teaching the child or we are not introducing them to sex. All we are doing is to give them information which they need. And because if it comes from a parent, when you're giving information, there will be protection. Because when you're talking about sex, you tell them sex is a gift from God, but it has its own right time. It's for married people. For you, you're not supposed to engage yourself in sex at this age until you are married. So there's information giving, there's abstinence, there's protective, all the information the child needs, because whether we give it to them or we don't give it to them, they will still access that information. So if it is coming with a parent, it will be very rich. Even the unanswered questions they have, they're going to learn. And you're also, as a parent, you're also going to explain the dangers of sex before marriage. We are going to have STIs, we are going to have HIV, we are going to be You are going to have unwanted pregnancy, which will lead into abortion, and through abortion, it may lead into death. Do you want that at a tender age? No. But if you indulge yourself in sex, you are going to find yourself this. So all we are doing is to give the child, we are equipping, we are actually giving a hammer for a child to handle whatever obstacle they are going to meet in the world of sexuality, in the world of drug abuse, in the world of peer pressure. Because whether we don't give it to them or we do, they'll still access that information. But the best way is for it to come from an adult, because it will be very rich and it will help them to make sound decisions in society. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you very much, Himba. Evangelist, Mofia, our caller, asked, what information are you giving to your child when you're talking about sex? Are you introducing them to sex? Are you telling them to abstain? What are you talking about, and what information are you giving to your child when it comes to the subject of sex?
I think Himba has ably answered the question. The issue here is that you are not teaching them how it is done, how sweet it is. No. You are going to talk about it, what sex is, and also you bring out that you explain about children are born from sex. But sex comes at a right, it has got its own time when it comes. Tell him that at the age that you are, sex in most cases is a danger. And these are the things that come out of sex. You spell them out, A, B, C, D, whatever it is. Then talk about all those dangers. Talk about all the diseases. Talk about the pregnancies. Talk about the fistula. And talk about all the deaths that have happened. Let the child see that out of this there are dangers than good things. Because you are not trying to teach a child in order to encourage him or her. You are teaching a child to refrain, to stay away from sex. So you talk about the things at that stage. When you do that, you'll be helping your son. But mind you, your son will not only get information from you, your son will have to compare what you have told him or what you have told her with what his friends will tell her, or what friends will tell him. In most cases, what friends will tell him or her is what the child will take, depending on your relationship with the child. If the child trusts you and loves you, there's good relationship, there's good rapport. In most cases, the child will avoid what friends tell her or tell him, and the child will pick what you told him or her. So let's be a variable, not absent parents, but a variable parents. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. To make an addition there.
Come again, CJ. We can't get you. I didn't get you.
I'll proceed. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So that's a that are heavy-handed and say, provided you're under my roof, I'll not allow a boyfriend or girlfriend to have completed school. Is that a good position? What is your view for parents that how can I that Evangelist?
Approach is very, very important to anything. Approach is very, very important. You can build or destroy depending on how you approach an issue or a matter or an individual. So it is very, very important. Because when you take that stance, you are indicating to the child that you are ready to fight. And the parenting is not fighting. Parenting is the directing, instructing, help a child wade through problems, move through, difficulties, through confusion. So that's the responsibility. We should not use those terms that are too strong. They only show that we are fighting with the child rather than we want to help them. So we should not use them. You should not use such titles. If you don't like what the child is saying, show them why it is not right, why it is bad, or why they should not talk about it, or why they should not get into it. So in most cases, let the child talk, bring out what they know, start from what they know to what they don't know. Start from what they know to what they don't know. I said start from what they know to what they don't know. So when you lead them to what you don't know, they will be able to understand you better than you threaten them with violence, threaten them with eviction from the home, threaten them with the closure of whatever it is. No. That's not it. That's not good parenting, but bad parenting.
Ndemwena benzo tikulisira military love. I'll allow Himba to come in on that one. Himba.
Yes, CJ, on as we are having this discussion, our viewers out there, I also want to mention that when we are giving information to our children, our main objective is protection. That's why we are giving them this information. So whatever you are relaying to a child, let us have it in our minds that you are doing it with an objective to protect them. So it's not that you are giving to destroy, no, you are giving them to protect them, that whatever they'll find, they're going to live with it. CJ, kuuza abana kweli ukwenda ukasiriza skulu olobenzo tikwapula CJ tenzopeza njira yoyenda kuli tumaboyi olobakuza tu sabwele. If anything, for me, I take it's actually a parent who is living a fake life, because they are going to say abana banga sibamaenda ku madisco meanwhile bamaenda bazana mwe mama segulirana mado baziba na namo. If there are people who knows you very well as a parent, it's your own children. And if there's somebody who knows what to tell you, because they can even be discussing about you. Mulipo so simumvera utwakamba discuss. Wamumvera savimbi. They would name you according to the way you treat them. Kulibene Gaddafi, Kulipine Elizabeth, Gaddafi, all that. So so whether you say ukulibo nkala na muzinama inga mwana afuno nkala na boyfriend azankala and wazapeza njira yo meeting a boyfriend. Inga mwana afuno nkala na girlfriend azankala and wazapeza njira yo chitachani yo meeting a that boyfriend. If the child wants to go akabeme chamba azamboleta chamba mnyumba mwanu, so under your roof, under your nose apiti isapa sitting room simuona. So the best thing is just to be open, be available for your child. Make your child as your best friend. Sometimes mukazinge nako na my bedroom wange na bedroom yabana boom unexpected. Ivakuti na my bedroom yabana simungena, you don't know what they keep in their bedrooms. These teenagers, these adolescents, they are so crafty and they are so clever. Imwe mukali mu 18 bebe angena kudala bora kwa mungu ensani pomo. So literally that threatening language, in nowadays, they would even challenge you. Mom, this is my right. I can make my own decisions. It's my choice. This is this. You can't tell me what to do. But when you create a barrier, you are so stiff towards your children. Believe me, you are pushing your child away. You are breaking a relationship. And even when they want to share things which are affecting them, they will not be able to share. You are actually making your own children vulnerable. Because the more you're telling them, hey, they will go and find out. Whether you like it or not, they'll still go for what they want. So just be available. Be a brave parent, be a loving parent, and don't forget to introduce the children to God, as Wom Kelebai has said. A child who knows God, it's very easy for them to fight the obstacles they meet in life than those who don't know God, because they easily give up and fall for challenges in life.
Wow, time seems to be running. Um, I've seen a situation whereby with this social media, vana vamafunana pa social media, and you find mwana achoka all the way from I don't know kwendo meeting akamboys kapa Facebook, and my relationship vamine yayamba. As a parent, how should you handle if you discover such a situation? Evangelist.
Well, let me put it this way. What makes us parents lose our children to the world or to the devil? Sometimes it is anger, or being short-tempered. Sometimes threatening a child. Threatening them with addiction, threatening them with what and what. When a child finds herself in such a situation, whatever it is, get them, call that child, sit with that child, the two of you, find out where she went, what she's doing, and why she's doing that. Let her explain that. And how did she know that there's such a thing that is happening that way? Get that kind of information. Because when you get it from the child will be able to give you the truth about the whole thing or the situation itself. So that by telling you exactly what it is, the child will be telling you how to help him or her. But if you begin threatening the child, that child will hide vital information which should be able to help you in order to help him or help her. So discuss with the child in your right frame of mind, and then find the solution, and together with the child. When you do that, you work out the solutions together with the girl, or that's the daughter, or the boy, your son. Then you'll be able to find the answers that will be managed. Because if you try to find the answer yourself, and she is not part of the answer, or is not part of the answer, it will be your own problem. Because it's not a problem, it's not a solution. So work out together so that you can find a common answer, which will be worked out by both of you. That way you'll be able to help your child. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Wom Kelebai, I need you to chip in at this point. Wom Kelebai.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening. Do I have a question, or I should just add on
your submissions? You can add on. If you have a question, you can shoot.
What was your question? I keep on repeating because I forget. What was your question?
Okay, so Go ahead, Himba. Himba, you can go ahead.
No, I wanted to repeat the question because I thought you've gone mute, and he wanted the question.
Okay. Okay, my question was to find your child is having relationships without you knowing. For example, with social media these days, vana kupeza bafunana on social media, and then as a parent you discover that. How do you deal with it?
Thank you. Well, parents differ in the way we bring our children. What we may say here today is not the way other parents will advise their children or bring up their children or discipline their children. Because we in Zambia, and most particular, we always confront our children with discipline. We want to discipline all the time, and without listening to our children's needs, without listening to our children's what they are going through. And if that issue has happened, and this, if you had, like I said earlier, that if you have an open relationship with your children, they will actually let you know of what they are intending to do or what they have done. If they have a girlfriend or has a boyfriend, if there's that openness that you taught your children, they will come to you and tell you, Dad, there's this guy I met online. I don't know what you think. And then you as a parent, you will give in some other advice on how to be careful with the people you meet online, because you don't know how that person may end up to be. And this is where also child molesters are also busy hunting. They are on the hunting spree, that they find they are hunting children, or even men, those people that abuse kids, that wants to sodomize kids. They actually go through the internet and pretend to be young, and they put pictures of a nice, good-looking young boy and wanting to coerce or lure you into knowing that you are talking to your fellow teenager or your fellow age mate. And then you'll be surprised that when you meet, then you find that that person may end up harming you because you have no clue who they are. You just met online. Those are the danger. As a parent, you sit down with your kids and tell them. But when you start yelling and start threatening violence, threatening discipline, I'm going to discipline you because of this, then you are going to miss out. You are actually going to push your kids to go in those people or those predators' hands. So it is important as a parent to have this cardio relationship with your children, open communication, talk to your kids. When it comes to education, yes, we can educate them on their sexual whatever, but we know for the fact that when they are turning teenagers, they have learned it from school. They are learning from one another in school, from friends. They are also learning from internet. So we know that they know. That's why we rush in now trying to tell them how to protect themselves. Otherwise, it is also our duty as parents to teach our children. Don't feel shy. Teach them on what sex is, when to start sex, how to start, what goes on when somebody is engaged in sexual activities, because they are very active at their age. That's my take. Thank you.
Actually, you are.
Thank you very much, Home Kedabai. Mr.
Actually,
Okay,
CJ,
sorry, Himba.
as a parent, actually, as a parent, you are lucky if they meet kamwamuna kanzao pa Facebook or pa YouTube or anywhere. The worst situation is where they meet an adult man, you know, because you are going to say, issues of sexuality, relationships, and anything, and the dangers out there, as Bom Keleva has said. Social media, bazapeza na bakulu, who's going, even the killers, they'll end up killing the child. Weva unakuru ni relationship, mwana bamunyengerera, bazapeza mwana aenda na bamudala, bamupereka kuma research mwana. But if this is a child who is informed, who talk to the mother, the moment somebody says, can I meet you, or who talks to the father, mwana zata mangira, mami, kuli muntu wa so na so na so na so. Kainge ifa times maona ati bana ngawangala pa gadgets bana ma tablets bana ma laptop nishtashaina ndiye good living. That's what we think. But on those tablets, if they are not monitored properly, there's no parental guidance over those tablets. You are just going to find somebody who's going to adapt your child.
We are risking them.
Someone who's going to rape your child. So you need to talk to the children. No matter how difficult it is, you need to build a relationship with your children.
Thank you very much, Himba. Abia has asked a question which we haven't responded. So, but okay. So that's the comment that is on the screen, but not 15 to 17 years at boyfriend and girlfriend, no. Nima dimbi ayo manji. But the question is, who should teach a girl child and who should teach a boy child? So that's the question that Abia has. Who should teach a boy child? Who should teach a girl child? I'll start with Evangelist.
The girl child, the parents should teach the boy child. But when the mother or the father, both of them in, there's no one who is supposed to teach the other one that is supposed to teach. No. Both they teach, depending on what they are teaching. You know, the girl or the boy. Both of them with the responsibility to teach. And it's up to parents also that, you know, the two of them, for example, a young girl, the girl is about the, now we're talking to the toilet, to bring up her pants by the blood. And she doesn't know what that. If you want, you can take the mother to look in that and be able to help the child. So, that is what you do. Because you might be very confident. You may not have what to do, but you are not confident, you know, to handle it. You know, and if it is done from a boy, that's one problem. You know, when I go to the land of my way to my kids, you know, and maybe a man. So the man can direct, you know, and take the next, you know, I'll get back to you. You know, the father should be identified. Because she's the specialist in that area. But the discipline, you know, must be handled by both people, husband and wife, father and mother. And whoever notices, you know, something wrong, should be able to eat and get the help. That's how it is. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much for our program. And I think we should have a part 2 of this discussion. However, even as we are having our concluding remarks, I would like you to also touch, because the general submission is that we should allow children to have boyfriends and girlfriends. Is that a case? Should it be okay? Mwana later, no, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, should it be a normal thing that we entertain that? Because from our African culture, iliko rather practically. Yeah. So yeah, okay, let me just end there. Our time has really moved. I'll start with Wom Kelebai. What are your concluding remarks, and also touch on what I've said? Chizao pena manje mwana will feel I can bring in whoever anytime anyhow. Go ahead, Wom Kelebai.
Thank you so much. You see, when our parents were bombarding us na mikwapu ya marubeni, anati onongera na future yatu manje, we want to do the same kubana vatu. We want the best out of our own children, and we want them to grow differently and have a better life, you know. So as time evolves, you know, even the laws have changed, Masikuano. We are not allowed to beat our own children, to introduce them to corporal punishment that we underwent at our time. And today we have to also find ways of disciplining our children. And it is well documented and scientifically proven that beating does not yield any results, good results. If anything, it will make a child worse. So when you talk to a child in a very normal way, themselves, because they are human beings, they will also realize certain things that they are doing are wrong, and they have to live a certain way. So bringing a boyfriend panyumba, a girlfriend panyumba, if you parents are open with your child, let that child bring that girlfriend or boyfriend to introduce them to you. So you also as parents can monitor and keep in touch with the other parent of the other girl or boyfriend, so that at least you are on the same page as parents, and that your kids do not do anything stupid. And you explain to them about if you cannot abstain from sexual whatever desires, here are the things that you are supposed to do. And be careful, because if you do and you happen to, these are the dangers. At your age, you are still going to school, you still want to do this and that, and we are not going to allow you bringing mwana mongono. You are a child having another child, so you can't manage, because you need money, you need school education, you need to be an adult to look after and upbring a child. So it is important as parents to communicate properly with our children and be open. Don't be shy. Don't be scared of miambo, because sometimes we are always scared of telling our children the truth. It doesn't matter whether you are a man, you're a father, or you are a mother. Teach your children. Ukufundo mwana kufikapo. Tell the child the truth, and the child will learn from what you are trying to say. Otherwise, that's what I can say for now.
Thank you very much for Himba. Your concluding remarks. Yeah.
Thank you so much, CJ. In my conclusion, I would love to answer firstly, just to add on what Shaabula has said over who should teach a girl child, who should teach a boy child. I'm going to tackle it from this angle. Abia, you've got two children in the house, a boy and a girl. And then tavipanga vija vakudala vakuti vamai vake vazambopunzisa mukazi, vatate vake vazambopunzisa mukazi, mwavomelezana, which well, sounds better. What about mukali kuchita vaso vamai vake vamwalira vamukazi? What happens to a girl child? Which means you've left a vacuum in one child's life. So ujamana zakula with no guidance. Kangi vamai vake vanamwalira. Having asked you that question, I say both parents has to sit down and talk to their children. whether batate bake bangakale bamufunzisa mwana bamuuza the dangers of life, whether batate bamai bake bangakale bakamba na boy child, batate bake bangakambe na girl child. It's both parents' responsibility to parenting the child, to educate the child, to sensitize the child, to give protective information to our children. It's our responsibility, both of us. Not at iyai mwana akapasa ni mwana wa batate bake akaferu akaleta mimba pa nyumba ni mwana wa mai bake. No, we've graduated from that level. Secondly, should we allow our children to be bringing the boyfriends home? I think for me, this depends on the parent and also depends on where you are in the culture. And it depends munyumba mwanu mwemivuonera na mwemubazibira bana bana and all what you want to practice. Because at the same time you may find vintu vinachinja manje. Mwapeza wamenoja mwana alipaja amboshita indauji na basemu bakuti ni mkazi na mkazi ni mwamuna na mwamuna then amboleta ambopunzisa ko bena angupa nyumba kange apa kange ni vambiri veba trying. So for me I think it depends on a parent, on the environment where you are, what your biblical beliefs. There are a lot of things you have to take note of when you are bringing up a child. You look at your Christian values, you look at your cultural values, you look at your personal principles, you look at how you want to bring up your child, then you incorporate and then you get the right message or you get the right guidance you want. If you want to bring a boyfriend home, chirikuli imwe nga mukambataza bwera pa nyumba chirikuli imwe, but you should know how to tackle. All we are saying as you want to give the children the information they would need to fight their day-to-day challenges at individual level.
Thank you very much, Himba. Evangelist, please, you can give your concluding remarks as well as any other pointers that could have been left out here and there during the discussion. Evangelist, over to you.
Thank you so much. A lot has been spoken by various good. All I can say is that we as parents have got a responsibility which we cannot be delegated. You know, Google will not do it, TikTok will not do it, our neighbor will not do it, the pastor will not do it, our uncle will not do it, the grandfather will not do it, grandmother will not do it, but father and mother working together, they will do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. Thank you.
Well, viewers, thank you very much for being part of tonight's broadcast. Please make sure you follow our social media platforms, Ubuntu channel, Zambia, that is Facebook. For YouTube, it is Ubuntu channel. Twitter, it's Ubuntu channel. Share the broadcast. And make sure you like and follow so that you're able to get notifications every time that we go live. Tonight, we have been looking at parenting adolescents, and we've been looking at sexuality as well as substance abuse. Well, you have heard many submissions, and we still want to hear from you what your experiences have been and what situations you've handled with your children. We have a WhatsApp line that you can send your question or comments and whatever situation to. If it's something that needs a response, we have Evangelist here and other guests that will be able to respond to you. For couples that need counseling, Evangelist Shaabula is available for that service, for that help. You can contact him on 0977 527 407. I'll say that slowly. Evangelist Shaabula's number is 0977 527 407. Please, if you have a couple or you are a young couple, you are going through difficult times, you need help, get in touch with him. He'll be able to give you the guidance and counseling that you need. I will end by also making my submissions, just like everybody has said. Parents, make sure you are close to your children. Make sure your children have trust in you. They can confide in you. Once your children are not able to do that, then you leave them vulnerable to external influence to external information, whether it is correct or wrong. So as parents, we have a role to make sure that our children are able to confide in us. Vana vangakwanise kutuza vintu vene. Okay, that way we'll be able to give them information yamine bafunika. Then vana panyumba ndisema lion vamata vachabi vakanga kutifacing avana. Iyo, it's a tricky situation. Times are moving, times are changing, and even as parents, we need to step up and ensure that we have our children close to our heart. I would like to close the program now, but I'll allow Himba to do that for me. It's been a pleasure having all this interaction with all the viewers and guests that we've had. Himba, please do the closing as the only lady on the program tonight.
Oh, that is a privilege, eh? Such privileges. Thank you
Not
so
fair,
much.
lovely. It's not fair. How can you give as a teenager, I was supposed to give the closing remarks.
How did you find yourself among the adults? Thank you so much, viewers. It has been lovely being with you, and we are always privileged, and we count it a blessing to have you in our midst. Having said that, we are going to leave you with a song of one child who was telling the parents that I did not understand, I did not listen to my parents. On that note, we say goodbye. We'll see you next week. Let's make a date for the next topic, which we hope we should also come back with part 2 on the same topic, because there are other topics like substance abuse and sexuality. We did not talk about it into deep. Hopefully, our director will be able to grant us that opportunity to come and talk about it. It has been lovely being with you. And from the Ubuntu team, not forgetting our director, Emmanuel, not forgetting the whole entire team, we say bye-bye and see you next time. We love you.
Golden record, hits of today, tomorrow, and the other days to come. Serious business.
Nati sembeni na velela, nati amai mwe vivava, ambidi enzo kamba, kutine ni kwatile, manjine ni nakana, chifukwa sinenzo mvela, nikunkala na umuzi, inesi na kwanise, ikoma cheku chinjamo, apo inene nzo tela, manje chinanda pisa chakuti neona mbodwala, makelo wonse waja, ine wananitaba, sina ziwe pona ngani ndani anani pasa nkenda, kufunsa Mary, awe, kufunsa Judy, awe, kufunsa Phoebe, awe, amai vibaba, sembeni na velela, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela kaleza, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela kaleza, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela, sembene sina dwale, kisembeni na velela, kisembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela kaleza, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela kaleza, sembene sina dwale, anzanga ose mwandi, awe musani seke, ivi vintu vichitika, elo futini nomo, nanga mukani seka, azan kushika ndani, nanga mukani tava, azani vipandani, kuchoka lero anzanga, nifuna mupunzile, volumpa mweo, vimaletelela, ikumbelela makolo, ikumbelela na antu, ukumbela advice, ayo ndiye mankwala, yonkala pano ziko, wanta witali, yonkala pano ziko, wanta witali, amai mevibaba, mwana wanga tenzo kuza, atata mweva vimba, mwana wanga weteka, nati amai mwevibaba, mwana wanga tenzo kuza, atata mweva vimba, mwana wanga wetekanya, sembeni na velela, sembene sina dwale, sembeni na velela, sembene sina kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale ati sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale ambiri enzokamba kutineni kwatile manjine ninakana chifukwa sinenzompela nkunkala na umuzi inesi na kwanise ekoma chekuchinjamo apo inene nzotela manje chinandabwiza chakuti neona mbotwala magelo onse waja ine vananitaba singazimepona ngani ndani anani pasa nkenda kufunsa Mary kufunsa Judy kufunsa Febi sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale ati sembeni namvelela sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale sembeni namvelela kaleza sembene sinadwale ati amai mwevivava ati atata mwevavimba nati amai mwevivava mwana wanga tenzokuza ati atata mwevavimba amai mwevivava mwana wanga tenzokuza atata mwevavimba ati mwana wanga wetekanya sembeni namvelela kaleza sembeni